Welcome to the AFoOL podcast. This is episode number 40, and we have no idea what we're going to talk about. And if we shouldn't eat at night, why do they put a light in the refrigerator?
That's what I'm talking about.
What's up, guys? Mardigrasman23 here, and it is time for the AFoOL podcast number 40. We are back. Joey's back. Jabo's back. They were here last time, but they were just, their mind was wandering. So that's Joey from BrickTrains up in the corner. This is his channel. That's Jabo, aka BrickTsar. He's got a lot of projects. It looks like he's finally getting organized.
Camera angles.
And we are off.
We are off and running.
Yeah.
So we've we made it back from Brick Fair. And I don't know.
I finally recovered from Brick Fair, and
you get everything unpacked?
Yeah. What
happened?
I can hear you.
Julian jumped in here. He was going to do a live
invite.
No, he did I should. He's doing his ultimate builds, and he was supposed to start like a half hour ago, and I clicked on to see where he was at, and I forgot it was in the background. So we just had Julian was a guest background voice for a second there.
I didn't hear it.
We forgot
maybe I just was hearing it.
We forgot about picking bricks.
Oh yeah, we got to start interviewing people.
We do. We need to get that. We need to get that going. So you want to? Let's talk about. I got things in the show notes.
I actually put something in there too.
Did you?
Oh, let's see what Earl put in there.
If I can find it.
Get my show notes over here where I can see them.
I have to find them. I can never find the app on my phone.
Okay, so let's talk about the Shell Station set number 690.
Is this the From the Vault?
This is a From the Vault.
From the vault.
And this is going to be a little different for us because I don't think any of us own this set. Do you own a copy, Jabo?
No, I don't.
Well,
you don't even ask
me. Wait a minute, hold on. Let's fix this problem.
Don't need to ask me.
Sorry,
There's one in Belgium I was looking at. There's one in Canada.
Oh, are you getting ready to own one? Is what you're saying? So this is what came up the other day on, and I'm going to share my screen.
Is this the one we were looking at on eBay?
Yep. Yes,
what was
it
the
is.
set number again?
690. And what makes this one kind of unique is that little yellow-orange square there that says Samsonite.
I'm really shocked that you didn't jump on that auction.
It was too much.
Yeah.
For what you get, but you know, it's one of those things.
So one of the things that we noticed is that it has the wrong green base plate.
Mm-hmm.
That should be a 22 width, and that one's 24. Of course, we could take a knife and fix that, right?
I like the emoji you said with a knife. Just make our own 6x22.
Yeah. Where's Hoosier Bricks at? He's got. I think he uses a paper cutter. I think cut his up. But so it ended up selling for $43 or something. And really, these parts are not that that shell sign right there.
Mm-hmm.
Is going to be your biggest and the base plate because what was it 6x22?
That's the most expensive piece actually. I think that you can get the sign for around $10. That's not broken.
Okay.
And the base plate right now currently they're like around $14 or $15.
Yeah. So that's why I kind of backed out of it because I wanted to buy a $15 base plate
and no box either.
No box. Yeah. And those are printed shell pieces, so those aren't stickers. Those are nice printed ones, but
they're not rare.
No, you pick those up for $1 pretty easy each. So that's going to put that base plate, $30-$40, or the instructions for $30-$40, and you have to be a pretty big Samsonite person to want to pick up. And this is. Did this set come out? I don't have it.
1974.
Okay, so it is after Samsonite US. So the U.S. had already phased out. So this would have been a Canadian. I noticed in the picture it does say printed.
Is that sign rare?
It's in more than one set, so it's technically not rare. But the problem with the sign is they break easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've noticed a lot of people listing this set as incomplete on Bricklink, and it's like sign's broken.
Yeah.
Or base plate is 6x24 instead of 6x22, or 8x24, but 8x20 instead of 8x22.
Yeah.
So this would be a set that you would part together if you had acquired the base plate.
Basically, the base plate and the sign. The printed elements, I think, can be acquired pretty good.
Well, I know I have 2 for sure. I think I have 3 of those little shell 1x2 bricks. I know 2 of them for sure because they're in a box car that's running around the train layout. the city.
Yeah.
And then that base plate. Everything else, I think I got everything else. I could part that set together. The shell, the one that actually says shell, I know I have 1 or 2 of those floating around. So the sign would be the other piece, and I'm not 100% sure if I didn't go look in my box of those that it may not be a shell one, but I was thinking I might even have a shell sign. So maybe I need to part it together. It said those instructions, though. That's what.
Yeah, those instructions aren't worth $30, $40. But again, as I was looking at the instructions for sale, and everybody just uses the picture that Bricklink provides, which is the standard instruction, not the Samsonite version.
Right. Yeah.
But there's some sellers in Canada or Canada. Oh, let's see what. Oh, tracking number. I got it.
That's what I was getting ready to do. See how many Canon.
So
this is good. No instructions.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
Yeah, the one Canadian seller doesn't have instructions. So
I think if for time's sake, most sellers aren't going to be worried about changing the stock photo. But if you got something that's condition sensitive, and I saw a lot of those sellers there actually did have pictures of what they're selling.
There is, yes.
Yeah, you need to do that. So but I think only you and a handful of other people care that the instructions are the Samsonite version. So people probably don't know that there's different versions of the instructions.
Right. Well, what immediately caught my mind was I had not seen that. And, I kind of, on BrickTsar, there's more Samsonite pictures that I put up there than anybody else. I don't know that, but I'm claiming it. And that's what immediately caught my eye. It's like, wait a minute. I don't remember seeing that. And, again, it's after the Samsonite US time. So it's just when that weird time that Canada had the contract, and they were obviously towing the Lego line. They were doing everything that Lego wanted them to do up there. But it's not a Canadian version, or a Samsonite version is not on. It's obviously not on Bricklink, and it's not on BrickTsar either. So I know a lot of people would not agree with me that should be a separate entity, but to me, I think I think it is. Because it even says on the instructions that the instructions are printed in Canada, which makes me think that the box was probably printed in Canada. And I don't know if Samsonite Canada was making their own parts. I would assume most of those parts were probably shipped in from overseas. So
have you noticed, talking about things that are different in different countries, so with modern stickers, sometimes you'll see it'll say there's an alternate version. One's like the North American version, and then there's the European version. And these are like modern sets that are currently available. Will have, depending on where you bought them, though, would have a different sticker sheet. And the sticker sheet is the same. It just looks different and has a different number on it.
Huh.
So your instructions are essentially the same. They just have different artwork on it for Samsonite.
Yes, they're essentially
the set number is the same. It's not like one of these things where it had a different set number for Canada.
No, and I get it. I'm not going to add it as a set on BrickTsar, but if I had the instructions, the thought would have went up that maybe, and I might have got pushback that that's not really a different set. It's just a different instruction set. And
so this you said was 1974.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this looks like a HO scale. Should have cars with it, but when did they quit putting the cars in the set?
In the 60s.
Yeah.
Well, that's one you did for the vault. Probably was the last one.
Yeah. So yeah, Canada or the Samsonite US carried it into 71, 72 or whatever.
Yeah.
But then they weren't using Lego cars. They were using those Minix cars from England.
Mm-hmm.
So that but yeah, they quit making the 69, 68, somewhere in there. They quit making the car. Lego quit making the cars.
I don't have any of the cars. Do the cars have a date on the underside?
I haven't noticed.
I don't think there's a date. No, there's the logo and then usually what the car is, but I don't remember seeing a date on the bottom of them. Of course, I don't have a huge collection of them either. I probably only have a dozen or less of them. So,
but they do have Lego printed on them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they definitely have Lego printed on them. They were pretty detailed. Even the headlights were little pieces of clear plastic that they had glued in there, and the bottom was usually metal. You had the wheels were metal, and then the tops were plastic. At some point, I think the bottoms even became plastic, but they were 3 or 4 pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had little details. The tow trucks had that little reel on the back that it's always gone. That little,
truck.
Yeah, the fire truck. Sorry, yes,
Mm-hmm.
the fire truck.
Yeah, so the people are always breaking off small features like the headlights or mirrors or
bumpers.
Yeah,
there's all kinds. Yeah, they're kind of fragile. So, but they were highly detailed.
Yeah, if you find them in good condition and complete, it's hard to find one for less than $30 or $40. And then the trucks, they're going to be over $100. A lot of them, if they're in good condition.
Yeah, and the trucks, there was a couple versions of the trucks that they did a lot of promotional items with. So there's
but the fire truck and the tow truck, those are more common.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another blue truck that's pretty common, but then you start getting in the weird things like the Shell truck. And like the guy had the Shell truck for that Shell station.
Right.
At Brick Fair. That's easily going to cost you $100 if you try to find that now. Just the truck.
I wonder if those sets were still on shelves into the 70s, because they obviously made sets that were, this set looks like it was made for those cars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if they manufactured new sets that would have had, but I'm sure they're these mom and pop shops that sold these things. Hardware stores, whatever. They probably had stock that they just had it until they sold it, and who knows how long they might have had it. There's a shop somewhere that has a set or two of these sitting in the back somewhere. Somebody forgot about a long time ago, and they closed shop in the 70s.
We just got to find that shop.
Now, were the cars sold separately?
Yes,
they were.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
They had a little box that made like a garage, so it was a clear top and a gray little.
Some came in garages, some came in cardboard or just thin cardboard. Yep.
Yeah, you're right. That was just the car all by itself. Yeah. So this set though actually has the bigger door. It's not a minifigure door.
Yeah, it's not the little door like we see.
This is that time frame in between that was pre minifigure, post the HO doors, but it's still HO scale, looks to me.
Yeah.
I think it probably looked more at home on an HO layout than.
I gotta be honest, this is a pretty bad set.
And that's why we didn't buy it, right?
It's like, it must have been so easy to be a designer in the 70s. Let's just piece these things together. That kind of looks like a building. There we go. That's a set.
Well, but think about it though. I mean, when I was in our old downtown, there's still a gas station in old downtown Hammond that is similar to that. It's a simple little building.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is behind those gas pumps, it would have a little garage.
Yeah.
But it has the had full service gas pumps. It's a little building. It's I mean, you walk. It's basically like a 10 by 20 building.
Yeah.
That's what that looks like. I mean,
Mhm.
that's how simple it was. Don't think about the racetrack you go in today,
No.
or
That's
the
not.
buses you go in today.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
not what I meant anyway. But yeah, I know what you mean because there's still remnants of the small gas stations / grocery stores around. One they preserved in what's called Lost Mountain Store. It's a bank now, but they historically preserved the front of it, and it's still got like the gas. They don't work, but it's got the gas pumps. Had 2 gas pumps, and it was just an old building that was a grocery store with gas, and that was typical. I remember as a kid in the 70s, there were many of those types of stores around.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you think about it from that perspective, and
Yeah.
to your point, it was like we had a pile of bricks and we could build that with
Yeah.
no design.
Yeah.
But it is similar to what was available back then.
Yeah. I mean, it was representative of the time frame
Right.
for the
There
building.
you
Yeah.
go.
It's I guess, Earl, it's like when I'm building one of the car sets from the 60s. I'm like, man, this car's kind of blocky. Oh yeah, they were
They
blocky.
were.
They were blocky in the 90s.
Yeah. Do you ever watch America Pickers?
I do.
Yeah. So I'm always thinking they're getting up there in an attic or a back garage or back office. I'm thinking, find a stash of Lego blocks.
Do you ever watch Storage Wars?
Oh yeah, I used to. Not
I've seen
even.
it. So I watched. I know I've seen every episode. The episode, I think it was last week. They opened it up and there's just totes of Legos.
Oh my
That was
gosh.
the second time I've seen it.
Wow.
And it's like that's what I want to find.
Yeah. The toy hunter guy, he used to have a TV show.
Yeah.
He did a couple where he picked up some
Where he went,
plastic
yeah.
space and stuff. But so video's dead.
Yes. Well,
That's
you
the
know,
same
after we
subject.
talked about it last time, it's like the other ones must have already been in production,
Yeah,
ready
I
for
guess.
release. It's like they wanted to retire it, but they already had Series 2 produced and they already had sets.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do with them?
They had to
Yeah,
come
you know
out.
what's sad is that those Series 2 sets will probably be valuable.
Probably limited run because there's not going to be a second production on them or anything. I just hope BrickTsar gets its, or not BrickTsar, but Bricklink gets its tiles all figured out so I know how many of them I got missing.
They don't have them all inventoried yet.
Well, it seems like I see. I don't know. I'm not an expert at this, so it seems like the tiles that came in the Series 2 are the same tiles that were in Series 1, but there were extras. But I don't. I think it was just that Bricklink didn't have them all listed. So
see, if they were smart, they would have put tiles in the minifigs, and then they would have put different tiles in the actual sets.
Well, I think there's ended up being like 160 something different tiles or something. There's a bunch of them. So it was. It's something I shouldn't be collecting. I got all the figures. I don't have all the big boxes, so I don't. I guess I shouldn't say I have. Was there a Nexo Knights blind bag?
Yeah, yes, they did. You get these little those Nexo Knight shields, and they were like 6 or something in a pack, and they were random.
But they weren't minifigs.
No, they weren't figs.
Okay, that's my out.
They were like little accessory packs. Yeah, they were kind of like dots, except they were Nexo Knights.
Okay. That's my out then. I saw somebody said something about the Nexo Knight blind bag, and my heart dropped. I went, what? Wait, what? Oh no!
Yeah, those were on clearance all day long for like 30 cents at Marshall.
Nice. So it's time for you guys to recap Brick Fair.
Okay. It was a good time. I had a good time. Got to meet a lot of people. I felt bad for Jabbo because he could not walk across the convention floor without 3 or 4 people stopping and talking to him. I did manage to get him out and get him a sub sandwich a couple times.
Yeah.
You need to get out and get something to eat, No, there's a lot of great mocks there. Julian was still the loudest presence
guy
in the.
room.
He's
He didn't get shushed this year, so that's good.
So did you get asked by I can't the guy? Who is it? I know they were there. The ones who do the interviews.
Oh, the Beyond the Brick.
Yeah,
Or
did Beyond the
Between
Brick?
Bricks, or
Did they
Beyond
ask
the
about
Brick.
the Bricks?
Oh no! So get this. They looked at it. That's TikTok. That's a TikTok.
That's what they said.
Yeah, basically.
Oh my goodness.
So it's okay. So now I'm motivated. I want to build the tipper truck army so large that they'll want to do a video, and I'm gonna be like, no,
TikTok it.
TikTok.
you can do TikTok. Nope.
Well, it's good to have goals.
Yeah.
No, they were going for like the actual epic things, like
Yeah.
the thing like Martin did the Brick Snaps did the trench run,
Mm-hmm.
and then I've noticed they've been posting a lot of the videos they filmed.
They have that's unusual. I don't know how many shows they've been to, obviously, but it seems like since Brick Fair they have been a lot more of the show videos that they're kind of known for. Yeah. So yeah, they did the GBC.
They've been starved for something to do.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it was the GBC. That was probably one of the first things they published, wasn't it? Or did they publish it?
Yeah, it's published. They did Keith Straw's Jail. I saw it. I think the
good.
Trench Front, Brick Snaps. They did several.
They did the Cyberpunk City, which was amazing.
Yep. That was
the worst bingo caller ever. Did the Cyberpunk Stefan. He used to work for Lego. Stefan. Yeah, he's the one that him and another guy did the Cyberpunk City. It's pretty amazing. And so this is the problem as a video creator. I tend to not film a lot of videos when I go to a convention or do interviews. I end up just talking to people.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and I guess I used to try to film more, but it's like I want to live in the moment. So
yeah,
I don't feel bad about it, but I'm just saying that's why you won't see a whole. I mean, I've pretty much done all my videos for Brick Fair already, and then I feel bad. Well, I didn't like feature anybody that I know, like their stuff,
right,
or enough.
I went this time with the thought process of trying to film more, and I failed at it. I got all the video together that I did, and I spent a couple days going through it, and I was like, and then all of a sudden, Beyond the Brick posts a video, and I was like, well, okay, there's a couple hours of editing that they've, everybody's going to see that video, so is it worth the extra time? And I didn't get everything that I would like. The only one that I think I'm going to do, I still got some video I need to kind of look through, is Tim's Western layout.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen anybody post anything other than Tim had posted some stuff.
Trains Are Fun posted something.
Did you?
Actually, I just did a compilation of all the different trains that I filmed.
How did I miss that? I'm subscribed to you on both channels or both my.
When did it go live?
Yeah, I did that one during the show. That might have been why you.
Oh, that's why I missed it then. Yeah. You didn't do a video today, did you?
No.
Okay.
I thought about it, and we ended up watching Book of Boba Fett.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that today.
Yeah. So
it's good all the way up to the crazy colored scooters. Or where are you at? I'm sorry. Have you?
Somebody did a meme of that. Like
that's the only
Lego scooters to.
I'm caught up to today.
Okay.
Was there one out today?
Mm-hmm.
Today's Wednesday. It's the new one.
They come out on Wednesdays.
Okay, I didn't see. I haven't seen today's.
This on Wednesdays, people.
Yeah.
But not.
At the same time, Lego Ultimate Builds is going on Julian's channel, which is why I've never been on that show. Well, it's not the only reason. I always work at night. But at any rate.
So I forgot what I put on the notes and you erased it.
I did I? What?
Yeah.
How did I erase it?
I don't know. Either you erased it or I know I saved it. Maybe I didn't. Forgot what it was.
Joey,
maybe I'll
buy
think
anything
about
at the yard sale. Well, before we get off of the Brick Fair.
Did I buy anything?
Yeah. What did you buy? Okay.
I didn't, but I did. Oh my gosh. Brick Jams bought one of these little figures.
Oh, that was he bought that from Stefan?
Yes, Stefan, I think so. So now I can't remember what was so special about this because I have one and I'm like, okay. Well, and the thing is he's sitting here in a not protected place.
Yeah.
So if this dude's like, $100 figure or something, it's like, okay, I need to put him somewhere. But he's the exact, because I took a picture of Brick Jams's and I compared it to this one. I was like, yeah, no, that's the same body, the same torso, the same legs, the hair. So now I gotta figure this guy out.
Speaking of those valuable figures, I remember you came back from, it might have been Philly, and you traded a big set for a figure.
So
and then the other day you're talking about not knowing where these figures are, and I'm like,
I found them.
I
found the Kid's Fest figure. I got him. He's in a protective case, and Captain America is on the stairway right now. He's still in his bag. Still haven't taken him out of the bag, and I'm really nervous now about these expensive figures because I was watching Atlanta Brick Company. So Beyond the Brick, actually, it was Beyond the Brick went to Atlanta Brick Company, and they were talking about what are the most valuable sets they have currently for sale, which changes from week to week pretty much. But one of them was a Star Wars set, the Ghost, and they were talking about how the figures in that break. They crack easily. And I'm like, so that sent me down a rabbit hole. The Ghost literally used to be sitting on my train layout, my HO scale train layout. It was sitting on that for like several weeks. In fact, I wonder if I could find it in a video, and now I don't know where I put it. And I'm like, now I'm worried about these. I said the figures, I've not done anything with them. We built it, and I said, I bet you anything the torsos are cracked or whatever the part is that cracks on those. And so now I'm worried about all of my valuable minifigures. Are they going to crack? Is my Chrome Darth Vader going to crack? Is my Captain America going to crack?
Well, it's probably wear and tear, I would think. Like if you had it on a plate and you had it in a case, you'd probably be fine.
That's what they said. They said in the video that even if you had it in a climate controlled thing, if you had it assembled, there's chances are that it's cracked.
Really?
Yes.
Well, they say that about the Deadpool figure too.
Real? Oh crap!
Because the leg, it's the red. Because I was going to buy one, and everyone you look at on Bricklink, they all say that they have like a scratch or a minor crack. And I asked it might have been Fick and Bricks. I asked him about it, and he said it's because of the red torso and the red.
Well, that one's ruined.
Wow, where's that one?
Because this is assembled. So this Stefan or one of these people, maybe it was that the other guy that used to work for Lego. I can't remember his name now. This slipping starts with an A. Anyway, he said that you shouldn't store your figures assembled. Any of them.
Well, I store all of them assembled.
And so I'm going to be going on a quest now looking for Deadpool and looking for the Ghost minifigures and see if they're cracked.
Try to find Wolverine and Magneto too while you're looking.
Do they crack?
Maybe they're all together. No, they don't crack, but they all go together.
Okay.
They're all from the same set.
Yeah, wonderful.
Hey, that's a good video. Another scavenger hunt.
Another. Find it. Can I find it?
This year's series. I wish I knew what you put in. I was trying to look and see if I could go back to versions and see what, but I don't know how to do that.
So it wasn't about video. No,
it wasn't about video. I know I typed it in. I'm pretty sure I hit the check mark for done. I don't know how you would find it because.
Well, there's supposed to be a versioning thing, and I see editing, suggestions, viewing. Somewhere, anybody know how to use Google Docs?
Let me look.
Contacts. Oh, there's the shows. Joey replaced Jabbo, got a London bus. That ain't.
Do you save the?
No, I just type it. It just.
Yeah, that's what I did. I went and typed in because we didn't have much from the last one.
Right, I had erased most of that, so
I didn't buy a Shell Station.
I didn't buy.
Shipping was €21
for the Shell Station.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, that's a bit much.
Yeah, the whole thing there. So, I guess the other shoe kind of dropped on the Lego purchase of Bricklink, because I've always contended, obviously, I think that they wanted Bricklink for research purposes. What is people buying in the secondary market, right? But the other big one was that they got rid of LDD. I guess
one less thing for them to maintain.
Yeah, and they're never very good at maintaining their own software anyway. So why not have a company? And obviously, Bricklink Studio or Stud.io or whatever you want to call it, it's good. I mean, it's basically the same interface as LDD, but I still haven't jumped into using it.
Was it?
I still use LDraw.
So somebody who watched our show, because when we were talking about video, the ancient fan of Lego.
The ancient fan of the adult.
Yeah,
old Lego. Pro Lego channel.
Yeah, Pro Lego channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was commenting. I watched his podcast, and he was talking about our video from earlier when video first came out, how we said it was going to fail. And what was the point of this?
I don't know. We were talking about LDraw.
Oh yeah. So I think he was talking about that too. This topic of LDraw going away, and I'm like, yeah, it'll probably. I said Studio will probably go away before I learn how to use it.
Oh,
I don't use any digital designing at all. The last digital design tool I used was called Lego Loco.
Oh, so I don't think I have the patience for that.
Me neither.
You got to find the brick you want. You got to turn it. You got to find the.
So that's the thing. LDD and Bricklink Studio, whatever. What did I just call it? Studio, I guess. They work in that 3D model where you're talking about. You have to turn it and you got to get it just in there. You can turn things on like Snap, so it'll snap them in place. So you don't. Now I use LDraw, which is the open source, and I've been using it for years. It works in you have 4 panes in the screen, kind of like where we have 3 panes here. It has 4 panes, and you can look top, down, front, side, whatever you can pick. And then there is a 3D option that you can do the 3D, but I always do top, down, and front, and then one side view, and I'm usually switching the side view back and forth from left to right. And I've found that interface to work really good. Now finding the bricks is always a problem.
That's
you gotta get kind of intimate with knowing where if it's a brick, a plate, a tile, and how they've categorized it, because this is LDraw and MCAD and all them. They've categorized them a little bit differently than what we would on like BrickTsar.
So will it allow you to design things with parts that don't exist?
I think it gives you warnings.
Okay.
Like if this is not a current production color, or color, if let's say you pick whatever teal and try to put a windshield in teal, it's going to come up, and I think it's going to tell you that part doesn't exist in this color.
Will it allow you to just hang parts up where there's nothing holding them up, where it looks?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Looks like a good design, but
yes, gravity's a pain in the butt. Yeah. I don't know. Again, I don't know a lot about the studio software, but I know some of them, and they have that button that you could push. It says, it doesn't say check gravity, but it says check stability or something. And I think that's one of the things that kind of takes into account. Do you have anything just floating? and it doesn't. It just flags them as being red. It's like, okay, these parts are all red. You got a problem. Either the fit isn't right, and or they're not connected to something. That's one of the things, like with L-Draw, like we've talked about before, like the different versions of the clips and how they only work with certain versions of the clips that work where they had put them in that model. And so you got to have the right one. L-Draw will just let that interference exist and you won't know it. But I think Studio is better at that. But I don't know who's designing their parts for them. If that's open source or if they're doing that in house, because the L-Draw is all open source. Somebody has to design that part for it.
Wow.
Which makes sense.
Boone's Build dropped 4 videos the other day on how to use.
Yeah, I saw that.
Studio. He must be collaborating with Bricklink.
Wow.
He's got didn't he have one of the Lego ideas sets the very first time?
Yeah, he made the fire trucks.
That's it.
One of the few ones I actually bought is Boone's fire truck.
It was a very nice fire truck too. So I got my notice from Lego that my the Bricklinks, I got the airplanes, the JK Works airplanes. I got a notification. I think they actually billed me, and then they said it's out of stock.
Every single thing I ordered is showing out of stock.
Okay, all right.
How can it be out of stock when you pre-ordered it? It seems like it's not going to be in stock until they get rid.
Why even send me a notice? Just send it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we have shipped your item. Don't tell me it's out of stock.
Right. Yeah. Heather ordered a friend set and it's already come, and she's gonna be started working on building it tomorrow, I'm guessing. And
that new little friend's apartment looks pretty nice. Have you seen that one?
No, which one?
Let's see if
I'm confused now. There's a friend's apartment, and now there's a friend's apartment.
Correct. It's kind of like a little it almost from the front it looks like a modular building.
Oh, I think that's the one that she got. Let's see if I can find it here. We go from talking about some of the oldest stuff to some of the very newest.
Yeah, that's what we do.
It is. You get it
all over the place.
Well, if we go to the definition of an AFoOL, it's a fan of old Lego. Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, we're old Lego. I thought, it's not that we're old.
Then that would be a AFoOL.
Old fans of Lego.
It is the Main Street building, Jabo. It is set. Let's see. What's the set number? Set 41704.
Okay, I've already stopped buying friend sets, so don't. 417 what?
This is a brand new one.
41704.
I like how Lego's not. Oh yeah, this is the one in Sam's video that he called out somebody for calling this a modular.
Yeah.
This is not a modular.
No, it's not. From the front, it looks pretty nice, but I'm sure it's backless. Yeah, it's backless.
It is. Yeah,
it looks really weak from the back.
Well, and then
it is like a cafe corner.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a purple and pink cafe corner on one end, and
So this is the one that Heather just bought, and she's going to build it on her little friend's beach town. So the back of her friend's beach town is against the wall.
Yeah.
So it's going to work pretty good. And I've already told her, I said, because she was asking me after we come back from Brick Fair, she was like, so she goes, I'm not a mock builder, am I? I said, well, no, hon, technically you're not a mock builder because you put sets together. I said, but that's what I do. You know, I put sets together. It's a perfectly acceptable way of playing with your Lego. But I think she's going to take this and try to build some of her own versions of these little buildings, because they basically have 3 types. You have a middle, a top roof, and a floor. So I think she's gonna get this built and then play with some more. Maybe we'll even do a video over on my channel.
There you go.
The city.
So that brings us right into your next thing, the new globe.
Let's see if I can get a picture of it.
It kind of looks neat.
Well, yeah.
Everybody wants to know, can you convert it into a Death Star?
Have you seen the side by sides with?
Yeah,
it
it's a lot smaller than the Death Star.
I was gonna say I hadn't seen the size of it, but it's. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's
I don't think I'm gonna run out and get it though.
I don't. Well, it's like the world map. I'm not running out and getting that either. I don't know that I'm going to run out and get this.
Oh, I'd get this before the world map, even though the world map has a lot more pieces.
Yeah.
If you want a bunch of 1x1 round pieces,
but this thing's still $200. I mean, what makes it interesting to me is how they make the ball.
Yeah,
I want to see.
It's got a lot of Technic on the inside.
Oh, it has to. Yeah, it has to. So,
well, you could. Is it available yet, or is it a February 1st?
I don't know. I don't have.
Where are the Lego deals?
I know you're going to need something to get to the new promo, the gift with purchase that's coming out. What's today?
When's the taxi come out?
I think the 28th. I saw.
Oh, okay, a couple more days. So I bought the Sonic the Hedgehog.
Then
I bought the modular with I used $50 off, so I got it for $150, and that's about it.
Yeah, I haven't bought a whole lot new.
There's not been any good gifts with purchases.
So yeah, I mean, obviously,
and I don't want to buy something now and then there's a gift with purchase later.
Right, fear of missing out, FOMO.
Yeah. And then there's certain things that are still unavailable.
Have you been in your Lego store lately?
Yes.
What does the stock levels look like?
They were really good.
Yeah, mine too.
And that's where I ended up buying the modular building in store. And Linda was so nice because I picked my box off of the shelf and I took it over there and she's like, "You got a dent on your box."
Well, I wouldn't mind. When I picked mine up, they actually, the front box, it looked like somebody had hit it. You crushed it. Had like a drag hole in the back of it. And I asked if they could give anything off, if percentage off. He said, "No, unfortunately, we can't do that right now." It's like, well, they get that one back on the shelf.
Yeah. So you think that's because it seems to be okay. So I got one. I got the same thing. The boutique hotel, whatever. But the box that came in for the shipping was not damaged. It was, didn't look like it had been crushed or whatever, but the box inside would have been crushed.
Yeah.
So I think they're doing this. Yeah, this is all warehouse stuff. So I wonder if they've gotten a new warehouse. It comes over. The one I get comes out of Illinois, and it has for years that I can remember. So I'm just seems to me like
I could see that happening because you have to handle it to put it in the box. But the one you got the other day, where it was a box in a box, and it was like the box fit perfect.
Oh, you talking about that's the one I got from Amazon?
Yeah, it was whatever it was. It was a box it was like the box that it was in it fit perfect, and then that was in another box.
Yeah, so you know how bigger Lego sets will have their own box. Right. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. That box was made for that set, and yet they still damaged it somehow.
Right. That is.
That was not the shipping. Nobody can blame that on the courier. That's the way it was. Even the inner box was not damaged.
Right. It was obviously damaged when they put it in that inner box.
So
what is the purpose of those inner boxes? Because they usually ship them in a bigger box anyway, and then it's like box in a box. What are we doing here?
I don't know. I was watching Pop's Block Shop. He had made a Bricklink order, and the guy he buys minifigure parts, put the parts in a bag inside a bag. I was like, that has got to be, and it's like individually.
Oh, ooh.
I'm like, why? Pops would have just wanted everything to be all in one bag and just dump it out. And he's sitting there had to open a bag, then open a bag.
Well, when you got all them tippers and they were all individually.
Yes, it was like that. I'm like, okay, I know, I appreciate you not wanting the parts to get all scratched, but they're already scratched. Don't worry about it.
Right. Yeah. Well, somebody ordered some trans clear panel brick things from me the other day, and they're all wrapped up fairly individually.
Yeah.
Well, they're not individually, but I got them wrapped up tight so they don't go nowhere.
I'll usually put several of them together where they're not going to be rattling around.
So. Right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try to keep them from rattling as much as possible. I picked one. Because I do them down here in the basement, and I'll sit them on the steps. And as I'm going up, I'll pick them up and then we'll take them, wherever, to the post office or put them in the mailbox a lot of times. But I picked one up. It was before Brick Fair. I picked it up, and as I was just shaking it, and Heather's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "This ain't good. This ain't going to make it." So I took it back downstairs, had to reprint the label, repack it. I was like, I just didn't do a good enough job. There were something was in there. And I ended up being 2x4 bricks. I just put in a baggie in it.
Yeah.
It's like,
so
no.
If you use envelopes, padded envelopes, you always got to do kind of like a field test. Make sure there's not a brick that's going to poke a hole in it somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, a lot of times they'll all end up inside with the set bags that we part out.
Yeah,
I usually end up putting them in that and then taping that.
Yeah,
just so it doesn't.
But I try to like roll them down
to
where they're, it's like tight, so it's not a loose like you would get in a Lego set.
Well, I was using I have two of them, little heat sealers, and I was using those for the longest time, and Heather would refuse to use them. She said, "That's stupid." I said, whatever, but it would keep them all from moving around. I could put a handful of the bricks in there and just seal the bag, and I kept going. But one day I come home from work, and I come downstairs, and I was like, "What does that smell?"
You left it
on?
I left it on. Now, it didn't melt. It didn't cause a fire. It did anything, but it was just, it was warm. So it had that warm electrical smell. So I went over there. I was like, oh, well. So it came out. It was like, we're not burning the house down for that. I'll buy more Scotch tape. So it was.
Yeah. So we could do, there's good packing. There's good packing that's annoying to unpack. Like, sometimes even the heat thing, if people are doing too many individual things like that can be the saran wrap was the worst.
That was awful.
I still got some fences that are wrapped in saran wrap that I haven't taken out yet.
It's just I can't imagine somebody doing that. Like,
it had to take time to do it. It wasn't just wrapped around one time.
Right.
Either. But they're in their mind, I know they're probably thinking, hey, these parts aren't going to get scratched. They're going to be very pleased.
Well, they were definitely very well packed. There's no doubt. They did not get any additional scratches on it.
So it's not Lego related, but it kind of is. Like, if you ever ship instructions.
Okay.
I have an order for instructions right now.
Yeah. So I've actually shipped. I'm glad I put the instructions back in my store because some sell occasionally. But so I used to sell comic books all the time, and to save as much money as possible on the shipping, I came up with creative ways of shipping them, which usually sandwiching them within cardboard instead of not putting them in a box, just sandwich them in cardboard. But then you got to be careful because you could cause somebody to damage the comic trying to get it undo it. Like, if you use too much tape, then they're like, they got to cut the tape, and then they could cut their comic book or their instructions or whatever.
Right.
So I learned to make them where at least they can see what they're going to take apart.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Now, you would ship those all media mail, wouldn't you?
Yeah, usually those types of things. If that's all they ordered, it go media mail.
Yeah, and that you can't ship a box that way.
No, and some
people, like a box of comic books or.
No, yeah, I've shipped boxes of comic books media mail.
Really?
And there's people that tell me, "Oh, you're not supposed to do that." I'm like, it's a book.
It's media.
It's media, and they're like, "Well, it's got advertisements in it." Yeah, it's like from 30 years ago. It's not and I don't even know what that means from the Postal Service about it can't have advertisement. I don't know what that means. Like, am I putting a flyer in there to advertise something?
Yeah, I would imagine you're not shipping your advertising is what I don't know.
Yeah. So I've seen people debate it. eBay allows you to do it, which means to me that they know what the category is.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
They're pretty good about that. They got special categories for like baseball cards for shipping. They got special arrangements they make for people to do that stuff. So yeah, they're not going to let you ship something easily the wrong way.
Right.
So are you getting the globe?
I will.
Yeah.
I probably won't.
Did you look at all those free
the download?
Yeah.
I've never
I can't believe it's
downloaded
not
any of the free
2
stuff.
points.
They take like 0 points and download it. I don't know.
I think it's. I don't know. I think it's a good thing for Lego. Lego don't need the money though, right? We buy all their super expensive.
Yeah, but you have to buy the set to build.
Well, if they gave you a free download with a parts list that you could upload to Bricklink.
But they don't.
They're wanting people to go buy those Mickey and Minis.
Yeah. I'm sorry. The Minnie is cute. The Mickey looks like he's getting his eye poked out. I mean, I get he's winking, but it's like, ow. I'm sorry, whoever the designer is, they worked really hard on that. I'm fussing on it, but
yeah. So I did all this discussion. I forgot I did buy another 2022 set. It was the one with the yellow bicycle and that one.
I can't believe you spent the magenta.
Yeah. So they're on the bicycle frames are on Bricks and Pieces.
Yeah, somebody put that in your comment.
Yeah, so I may be.
That's why I put the I paid too much video.
Oh yeah. But I get nervous when a set is becoming hard to find.
Sure, especially if it's got something you want.
Mm-hmm.
And since you collect the bicycles, that's
So I'll actually have the set, but I'll make up for it in
Bricks and Pieces.
The bricks and Pieces is weird because the wheels for the bicycles are ridiculously priced. It would cost you $2 per bike.
Really?
To get the wheels. Yeah.
Huh. Now is the tire separate from the wheel?
The wheel they're all one piece now. The wheels
they're
all one piece now. Yeah. But so the wheel with the tire is 97 cents. And I'm like, just for one. So you got to buy two to make a bicycle, and I'm like, that's ridiculous.
What's the bicycle frame costing?
It's about the same. It's like
it's a $3 bicycle.
Yeah, it's $3 to make a bicycle if you buy the wheels. But if you go to Bricklink, you can find the wheels for like 20 cents.
Yeah,
I was about to say.
So I placed an order for wheels from somebody in Europe that also had tipper truck parts, and then I bought me some frames of the rare colors, not the common colors.
So since we're talking about Bricks and Pieces, I had a couple of people talked when we were at Brick for Alabama. They're like, join a lug for bulk lug or for Lego bulk, whatever Lego.
And we can talk about it because we're not in a lug,
and we're not.
But they're not supposed to talk about it.
I know.
I know. There's a guy who he's wanting to start one for our little Facebook group. I said, well, how many people do you have to have? They don't know.
It's at least 20.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes the good deals that you get aren't worth the aggravation.
Well, that was
limited selection.
That's the thing. Because I see, for whatever reason, I'm not part of Indie Lug, but I'm in their message system. I signed up for their message, and I don't know, they let you. So it's bulk lugs going on, but so they're doing their parts drafts or whatever. They're selecting the ports. But so you get a limited number of parts that you can buy once a year. You can buy bunches of them. What's the difference with just going to Bricks and Pieces?
It's a lot cheaper. It is a lot cheaper.
So it is just
yes, it is yes.
So I think Julian was talking about he bought however many. He bought a bunch of these little bullion bricks. Yeah, Jamie bought a bunch of those that they it's kind of cool, but it's like I don't know. I have a hard time. It'd have to be a really good discount to buy 1,000 of whatever the
Yeah.
same pieces.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
We're never going to be in a lug now.
No, we're never going to be. Doesn't
No,
the
yeah.
lug to be recognized
I don't
to
want
do
to be.
that?
I don't want to be limited to like if I buy stuff and I decide I don't want it later.
Right.
I'm like, I don't like things with strings attached.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm lucky enough to not have a lug anywhere close. So, Indy Lug's the only one I know of, and it's 3 to 4 hours away. It's because it's north of Indianapolis, so it's easy 4 hours away from me.
I can't. I don't see the. I'm not a mock builder, so I don't see the point of buying.
As I see a mock behind your shoulder there.
Yeah, but I didn't create that.
No, but you had to spend a pretty good amount of time sourcing pieces, though.
And even something on that scale, you might not need the quantities that you would probably have to buy.
Yeah, I mean, like that masonry brick, I would have to buy 1,000 of them, but I only need 100, probably.
Right. To me, it looks like bulk lug or lug bulk, whatever, lug bulk, I guess. It's an advantage if you're building a big group mock. You know, if you're ballasting track and you need a whole bunch of plates to ballast your track, or or streets or walls or whatever. I could see. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being sour grapes because I'm not in a lug, but I don't.
If you're building a skyscraper and you need a lot of windows,
sure,
of a particular color,
yeah, I could see that. But again, other than the price, I guess you could do that through bricks and pieces.
Yeah, but it'd be a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
And so the trade-off is to be in a lug. Your lug needs to have some type of public presence too.
Well, I was getting ready to say, aren't they technically something has to be through the land?
Okay, so you have to be recognized by the land.
Okay.
So that's our lug is a Lego user group. That's what lug stands for, in case people are wondering. Lego user group. I guess somebody liked Tron when they came up with the name, users. But then you have to meet certain criteria. So you got to have a certain number of members. You got to have a certain number of meetings, and you got to do a certain number of shows,
right,
or charity type events.
Right.
So it used to be like you had to do like 3 shows a year and have like 6 meetings a year, one every 2 months or something like that. It may be more, maybe less. And if you're inactive, they'll kick you out. Like if you don't meet your criteria, they'll kick you out. I see you can see who gets offboarded sometimes.
Really?
if you keep up with who's in it,
yeah.
You say, oh, I remember it's like BrickTrains, not BrickTrains. Brick Model Railroader was in it, but they never did anything. They never. They had their.
But that was Pin Lug, or was that?
No, it was Brick Model Railroader.
Oh, so Brick Model Railroader was.
Yeah. Yes, they were.
I always get kind of confused because
Pin Lug is in the lug.
Right.
I mean, they were a lug, but then separate from that was Brick Model Railroader, which
how would they be? Because they're a business.
Yeah, well, land. They're recognized Lego fan media.
Okay.
So I could be in the land, but I'm not a lug.
Oh, could you?
And if I'm in the land, doesn't mean I get lug bought.
Right.
So like
as an individual, you should.
These YouTubers that are in the land, they get free sets to
right.
review, get them early, but I don't know that they get lug bulk. If I was a recognized Lego fan media, and they gave me the choice, there might be things I want besides the newest set, but that's not what Lego. They want you to promote the newest set.
You need to be a rolling commercial for Lego. That's exactly what they want.
And I already am. They don't have to pay me anything right now.
No, that's true. But occasionally you're a little grumpy towards them.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
happy.
So, and that's why you got to respect somebody. What we're talking about before the show, like Jang, who does all this on his own, has turned down support,
and
I think you can trust the opinions, however wordy they may be. You can trust them.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to trust somebody that you know is not being supported by the not. I don't want to say don't trust the people in the land.
No, yeah, you got it. Yeah,
but they've made a deal. They've made a deal with the devil there. Lego has said, "Here's what we're gonna give you," and happy. Lego is good.
It's not really. It's just like a sports broadcaster. You ever watch it? Well, you don't watch sports, but you watch a football game, and this player, the first quarter is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Then the third quarter, it's the other guy. It's like, what happened to the guy you were talking about in the first half? Well, that was pregame, and then he messed up. So now we got to talk about somebody else.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk bad about the guy from the first half. We're just going to talk good about somebody different.
Somebody else. Yeah. True.
The best sportscaster are the ones that can make the fans of both teams mad.
Yeah.
Oh, you're favoring the Falcons. No. They're favoring the Saints. You can tell by they just get excited no matter what happens. Okay, that's all it is.
Oh, so what else do we want to talk about?
Okay, so you got on here, should eBay stop sniping and how? So did you lose something?
No, but we were kind of talking once before. Maybe it was just me and Jeb were talking about how the auctions don't just progress anymore. They just wait till the last 30 seconds.
He mentioned that on a video. That's true.
Yeah.
That's where it came from.
And then that's the same, like the set 690, the Shell Station. I had put in a bid. It kind of moved up a little bit. Of course, me and Jabbo bid against each other for a minute, and it was like, "Hey, is that you? Is that me?" But at the end, somebody put in a bid that was because it was a new bidder, different guy, and he put in whatever bid he put in. It was high enough to get past everybody else right at the last second. And I know a lot of that's done with bots or embedded code in websites that are waiting for that to do that. And I think personally, and here we go, cue the comments in the comment section. But I think if you, just like a real live auction, if somebody bids in the last minute or 30 seconds or whatever, then you tag on 2 more minutes.
Yeah. So the type of auction that eBay is,
I know it's a different.
What do they? I forget what they call it, but it's like you got your auctioneer auction,
right? Like a live auction.
Yeah, the bid comes in, and then he gives people so much time for somebody else to make a bid. But eBay, you bid with 2 seconds left. That's it.
Yeah, I know.
I've seen the things just skyrocket in the last 5 seconds. I've had times where my bid went in at 2 seconds, and I thought I had won. And somehow somebody with their bot, because those bots, you can go from 5 seconds down to 1, and you're taking a big chance that something, if you put it at 1 second, that you might miss it just
right
from a glitch or a timing issue. But I've seen them just skyrocket in those last 15 seconds, 5 to 15 seconds. And that's not the way it used to be. And I'm not sure that's the best way for it to be, but that is the way it is.
It is the way it is. And I think it was fine to begin with that way, but I think the automation part of it from the bidder side is hurting that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't hurt eBay.
I've also seen people pull their listings because they're afraid it wasn't going to sell.
I've seen that.
Because they didn't get no bids.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, just give it some time. My father-in-law does it all the time. He'll list stuff and he'll pull it because he's like, oh, nobody's bid on it.
I don't know what the consequences are, but I've bid before where
your bid gets retracted.
Yeah, and the item's gone.
I've had my bids canceled, or I've had people cancel their bids on my items too.
I thought that was always kind of counted against you if you canceled your bid. I would think.
Yeah. You got to put in there why you canceled it.
I'm always very careful not to make a mistake bid.
I guess I'm just I had somebody accidentally did a key punch one time. I'm selling an ice chest or something, and they instead of typing in 70, they typed in 700.
Yeah.
And so it sold for like $400 and something. and they were basically bidding against themselves some kind of way, because the next lowest bid was like $60, but they drove it up. I don't know. I didn't understand how, but they told me they had a key punch error, and I was like, okay, that's fine. I'll just offered it to the next highest bidder, and if they passed, I relisted.
Right.
That happened to me, but fortunately nobody else bid. It was one of these vintage sets where I meant to put in like 100 and something, and I put 1,000. And it was I wasn't using sniping software. I was literally doing it in the last 15 seconds.
Oh my goodness.
And so it's like once you hit it, I was like, oh. But fortunately nobody else jumped it up.
Right.
I could have been really bad.
Yeah.
I would have to eat in the negative feedback or something on that. I just can't leave bidders negative feedback.
Not now, not anymore. So,
but I did used to enjoy the days of you list something for $1 or 99 cents, and then through the week it would get bids, and then at the end it would go up even more. Yeah.
So I think it feels more natural to me than nowadays. It feels like so here's what I'll do. I'll end up putting a bid in just so it goes into my watch stuff without actually doing a watch if it's something I'm interested in. And if I win, I'll win. Great. If it's at that low bid, because there's going to be that barrier that it's like, okay, I'm willing to spend $5 or whatever the starting bid is, and even if I'm not really interested, like the Shell station,
it's going to let you know.
Yeah. You've been out of bid, you've been, whatever. But like the Shell station, it was one of those deals I originally put in a bid that was fairly low, and I felt comfortable with it. Well, then as I kind of looked at it, I was like, I'm glad I didn't put a bigger bid on that. But
yeah,
I get kind of nervous.
The more I looked at it, the more I was less interested in it.
Yeah, I think we both got that way.
But here's the thing: at least with that one, we won't get recommended necessarily things we don't want to buy. I have bid on things or just watched things not for the sake that I want to buy them, but is that I want to sell them. And then the eBay sends me emails.
I get the same thing.
I don't want to buy that. I want to sell it.
So there is a new app, or there's a new thing. It's called Whatnot. Have you seen that?
Yes, Whatnot. Yes, I've seen a lot of the guys in other toy collectibles using that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a live auction.
Oh,
but
I had to disable it because I signed up for it, and then I would get notifications on my phone of anybody who went live on Whatnot. Anybody. I'm like, okay. I was like constantly getting these notifications.
Well, I just went on and I don't see any. Every time you put in your interest, it'll tell you when something's coming. Well, it might be 4 days from now. There's a live auction. It's not like constant. So I went on to a comic book one just to see it. I don't know if I could sit through it. I mean, it's like, okay, they're gonna list this lot, and then you gotta go through the whole process of waiting for them to auction it and talking about it, and read the comments, and read. Then it. Okay, so now
just do that on YouTube.
Yeah,
just do it on YouTube.
Yeah, just do it live.
Like that, just Jeff. He sold a lot of Kevin Hinkle stuff on Whatnot too.
I never got the notification for that one.
Really?
That's the only reason I signed up for Whatnot. It was because of him.
Yeah. I never signed up, but it. I always saw his Instagram posts and stuff. So
yeah.
I hope that truckload of stuff that Atlanta Brick Company just bought wasn't Kevin Hinkle stuff. He had a lot more in the house.
No, I watched the
that
video.
was Broke for Bricks.
Okay.
Yeah, did you watch the video?
No.
I watched the video where they went and they were talking to the guy. I think that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that must be.
He had everything in the storage, and it was all nice and neat with butts out by theme.
Yeah.
Most of it was unbuilt. And what was built, he had taken it apart and put it back in the box, and it was.
Wow.
Yeah,
he's a true collector then, huh?
Yeah.
He
was in the box
collector. He's a seller.
Well, he was a collector, and he just
for 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm just messing. He sent me some he lives down there in Florida near the Legoland, and he sent me some of the non-production colors.
Ah,
yeah,
those are cool. You sent me one of the whatever it was, a 2x10 sand green brick, I think.
Yeah,
2x12, something. It was a large
one. 2x10. Yeah,
10.
I think.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So, well,
we got any comments or anything, or
we have a few, not very many.
It was the Brick Fair.
Yeah,
yeah.
Didn't lend itself to comments.
Yeah. So, Blockhead UK, thanks for showing us around Brick Fair, Alabama. Good to see some other familiar faces too. Looks like you had a great time.
We did.
Yeah, that was when it first started, I was getting a little dizzy.
I'm sorry. I never see the biggest mistake there I made was I didn't have headphones. It never dawned on me to bring. I don't even have a set of headphones for my phone. I would have had to have bought some earbuds or something. But if I had brought that, then we could have been a little closer together and maybe managed it a little better to who we were talking to or whatever. But,
we didn't plan it out real well.
No, well, it's us.
I know.
You'll never see another video like that.
Right? How do you spell that? Xavier G, one of the best AFoOL podcasts.
Oh, let's do it again.
Finally, a Brick Fair, and what do you bring? One set. More than 800 of the same set. Looks great. The GBC from Joey looks great. Has some nice colors being used. I missed the dad joke. I like them and always laugh. Here's my dad joke then. Why didn't the toilet paper reach the other side of the sidewalk when crossing the road? Because it got stuck in a crack.
Potty humor.
Mayo for commenting on Jabo's channels. I'm BrickTsar's real biggest fan, and everyone knows it. After all, I'm the only one who knows Jabo more than he knows himself. Quote. Hooray! I'm glad.
I disagree.
Yeah. Hooray! I'm glad that Joey doesn't have to approve my comments anymore. I think you guys spent more time walking around the convention than talking about vintage Lego.
Yeah, we did.
Tell they might be bricks. I said hi and congratulations on your participation in the GBC. And yes, Jabo, we can hear you.
Yeah. So if y'all haven't seen it, I recommend everybody go check out Joey's 360 video of us building the because you can see everybody that's sitting at the table, and there are funny things that are said. And
yeah, I don't think there was anything said that shouldn't have been said.
No,
yeah, it was somebody commented and said, "I can hear Jacob's voice, but I can't see him." I was like,
you got to turn it.
Scroll.
Yeah,
you should have seen Dakota. So we showed him that video, and he just kind of looked at me and was like, "Okay." I said, "Move the phone, because if you have the phone,
yeah, wow."
So he spent the next 5 minutes going like, "I said, what are you doing? Looking at the ceiling?" Yeah.
Yeah, if you get that cardboard you can put on your phone and do it like this.
Yeah.
True.
Which video is that? I didn't know you could move it around.
It's the 360.
It's the 360 video of building the GBC modules. And it might look like a weird thumbnail or weird if you just look at it, but you can do a whole, you can see everything around.
Well, and if you do the VR glasses, there's a button. If you're on it, I think if it's on the app, there'll be like a little goggles button, and you could click that button, and then it'll do it in like 2 circles.
Yeah.
And
so seeing it in stereo.
In stereo, yeah. Then you're in your head, yeah. Not that you would want to see.
Yeah. Watch it slowly build modules. But I underestimated they might be bricks building. He wasn't the first one done. He was the first one done at our table.
I was gonna say he was the first one done at our table. Yeah. I was just, you kept saying I was racing. I was like, no, I'm just trying not to be last. No, last the last time.
Dude 20. Hey, Earl, Joey, and Jabo. Cool one. Brick Fair was fun. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, Jude.
Yep.
It's good to see you there.
That's
Yes.
a pretty cool sig fig he had.
Yeah.
You know, so I should mention this. I didn't film it. It's one of those things I probably wish I'd filmed. The guy has the most extensive collection of Technic figures I've ever seen.
Dude
Jude has almost all of the Technic, and I did not realize there were so many of them. I thought there were like 10. He had like 50 of the Technic figure. Might have had more than that. It was he had a case just full of these, and he's like, telling me which ones he still needs to get.
Wow. Well, hey, everybody's got to have a collection of something.
Yeah. Blah. Another great podcast. Thanks for sharing. My vintage Lego police car was 6623-1. Liked it so much, I think I had 3 of them.
You just need 828 more.
Along with my other classic town sets, I like the idea of vintage being personalized, as I am an early mid-'80s fanatic. I inherited some earlier sets like the Legoland Brickyard, but my center was early classic town.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, great job with sharing Brick Fair with us in your unique way. Yep, it was unique. It was really just a walk around. You know, it was a walk around. It wasn't bad. I was just laughing at the next comment.
Oh, okay.
Then Killer Tachikawa.
Oh, he's back.
Great disaster as always.
He knows us well. He's honest. Thank you for being honest.
Hopefully next year we will have a more effective vaccine so I can come out to meet you guys.
Yeah.
One thing. This is my takeaway from Brick Fair. I'm not going to another show. I'm not going to, even if I have the time to go. I don't think it's worth it right now.
To go.
Yeah. To risk getting sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think we're going to Brick World. I don't. So it may be Brick Fair, Alabama, but be the next thing that we go to. If
next year.
Well, and we'll see. So far I haven't caught it, but
yeah, I'm kind of. I guess I'm caution to the wind. I've been to many a Saints games.
Well,
I work in a grocery store with couple thousand people come through every day. So
we've had shut almost all of our lines down at work. In fact, when I left tonight, we had one line running because of call-ins due to people being sick.
Wow,
it's crazy right now.
So off topic, the era is over, Earl.
Yes,
Sean Payton's gone.
I listened to the whole. It was probably an hour and 40-minute.
Yeah.
Exit interview. Whatever he said when he sat down it was going to be long, and he was long-winded, and he thanked as many people as he could thank, and then he gave everybody in the media a chance to ask questions.
Wow.
And he answered every one of them.
Wow.
And he was open and honest, and you could tell he's just burnt out.
Yeah. Nobody
out.
can you can't argue against his record and what he meant to that organization for 15 years.
Yeah, but so now we're in great shape. No coach, no quarterback. And Javo is loving it.
We know all about that.
Yep.
That was football talk for those who don't know what we're talking about.
That's that one with the brown ball, right?
Yeah, it's the oblong round ball that you don't kick except when you're kicking extra points and kicking off, and you can use your hands. That's that one. Lego hasn't made a good set for football.
No, they sure haven't.
They've made football players, but not
set.
Only a couple though.
Yeah,
and weren't they just collectible minifigures?
Mm-hmm.
1 or 2 of them. In talked, I don't remember them having something on their wrist. I think it was paper like the ones that come in your order. The reason was bricks and pieces. That's when we were talking about how they pick
orders.
Oh, the thing. Orders. Yeah, that's what I was asking, because I've seen people that work in warehouse have that thing that they mount, and they just like, that keeps both their hands free.
like in our warehouses, everything is it's all hands free. It's all a headset. The headset tells them what slot to go pull, and
Oh, wow.
it's all off a headset, and I guess
Oh,
it's all
wow.
automated
Hmm.
based off the invoice or the picking list or whatever. But yeah, they don't run
So
around with
have y'all
that.
seen the program Ralph Bricks made for picking orders on Bricklink?
I don't think so.
You know how they get the little checkbox? Like if
Mhm.
you're picking an order, you can use that and use the checkbox. He's got a thing where you just hit the space bar. Boop, boop. You pull up all your orders, and then you pick an order and then you hit the space bar, and it clicks. Because when I'm trying to click the little checkbox, sometimes I click the image. It's like, oh, like
Yeah.
like if there was just that would almost cut in half the time to pick
Yeah.
an order, just clicking the checkbox. Sometimes I don't even check them. Sometimes I just go through and just kind of visually keep track where I am because I get trying to hit that checkbox.
Oh, I use my iPad, and I usually spread it and just make it a little bit bigger.
Well, as I say, I use my Windows tablet to do it. I'm getting into a bad habit now because this computer sits right here, and I just pull the page up here, and I'm sitting here. But yeah, that would be cool having the space bar to be able to just kind of. Boop, boop, boop. How is everybody's storage doing? I've had at least one order. They're not been big orders, but I've had at least one order every day since I opened the store when I came back from BrickTsar.
Yeah, it's picked up this year.
Yeah,
good.
I've got a few. I'm waiting on somebody to pay for one now. They got instructions, and I know that because of the instructions they have, that it weighs so much that it's a small order, but it's going to be
They ordered pieces too.
Yes.
Oh, I've actually shipped the pieces separate before. If it's pounds of instructions.
No, well, it's about a pound. It's about, I think it's right at a pound.
Oh, okay. So you're close to that, or it's just going to be like $8 to ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one set of instructions from a Minecraft. I thought it's like 5 books to this Minecraft.
Oh
wow.
Yeah.
Well, the set that Heather just got, I thought when it came in and she opened up the box and I picked it up, like, good Lord, this thing's heavy, but it's got 9 books in it.
What set was that?
That Friends set that we were looking at.
Oh,
but they're not big books.
It's got 9 books.
Well, each book. Well, I haven't opened it up, but it shows when you do the PDFs. It's like 0 through 9 for the books or something. 1 through 9. But
I think they're
each little module has its own little book.
They're designing more and more sets for family building. I think
that's kind of what I was wondering if that was going to be one of those that was built. Not like that app. Did you see that? That was a comment a couple times ago. Yeah. So.
And Will Harper says Mardi Gras Man looks like he's feeling left out. Next time you have to take him with you. Yes. And I started to think it's going to be really tough because I just realized I realized last year that it doesn't matter. So our Coronation Ball is always, so Mardi Gras is X amount of weeks before Easter. So Easter is the moving holiday, and then you count back so many days and you get Mardi Gras. So Mardi Gras depends on when Easter is.
Right.
And then King's Day is always the beginning of carnival season, which is January 6th. But that has nothing to do with Mardi Gras. That day is always set. So it can be a short season or a long season. So our Coronation Ball is always so many weeks before our parade, which is the past 3 years, the Saturday, the weekend before Brick Fair. And the past 4 years, we started a Comic-Con in New Orleans, and it is the same weekend as our Coronation Ball. So it's pretty crazy because Comic-Con will be letting out, and you'll have people dressed up,
Yeah.
You'll have people dressed up in costume coming from this end of the convention center, and we're all in tuxedos going in this end of the convention center.
Did I tell you what happened at the hotel with the other convention that was going on? So what night was that? Friday night? We got in late, and the only thing open was a cookout drive-through that we had to drive a mile to get to. So we drove to the cookout, and I was like, let's just take it back to the room and eat it. We're coming down the escalator, and then a convention lets out. This is almost at 1:00 now in the morning. This Amway convention. But actually, when they first went out, I was like, oh, school must have let out, because there's all a bunch of young people. I said, school must have let out. And they all went straight for the elevator. And I was like, it was a lot. I ended up talking to one of the guys. There were 1,000 people at that convention, and the line for the elevator was not moving. So we tried to find stairs, couldn't find stairs, and we ended up just sitting down on a couch in the lobby and eating our dinner before it got cold. And the line, it was still there when we got done eating. But one of the guys said, "Hey, what are y'all here doing?" And I told him about the Lego convention. Then I asked him, "What are you doing?" And he was like, we're a bunch of entrepreneurs. It's Amway. And I'm like,
did they try to sell you something?
No, he did not try to sell me something. And I'm glad he didn't, because I would have been brutally honest with him. But because he did not try to sell me anything, I was just like nice to him.
Right.
I would have been like, dude, whatever money you've put into your life here, you need to get out now. Get out now. This is the world's longest running Ponzi scheme.
There's a couple others other than Amway too.
Yeah, and I don't know how they've been shut down so many times or whatever, and they keep coming back or whatever. And I was like, and it was all young. Yeah, it was all. There was nobody in my age group or our age group there. It was all like college age people.
So this was over to Sheraton.
Yeah, on the other side. You have to go, like, you go down that hallway and you go to the left to the West End and go right to the Sheraton, and it's down that way. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And
there was a big auditorium that's on the other side there. And that's where they were at the hotel. Yeah. And And I asked the hotel person, I said, why are there no stairs? And I said, what if there's a fire? And he said, well, you can go down the stairs.
Just can't go up the stairs.
Can't go up the stairs. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
That would have been a great time to get off the elevator on your floor, and when you got off the elevator, hit every light on the elevator. When you got
there was like 17 floors. There's 17 floors.
Well, I remember when we stayed in the Sheraton a couple years ago. Those elevators were not fast or efficient. They were.
Everything was condensed into this one set of elevators. Like before, there were more options, but with the remodeling they had going there, it was. That was my story. I'm sorry to.
No, that's what we like. That's what keeps our audience coming back.
Yeah. So if you're
still here,
and
at the hour and a half mark, put Amway in the comments.
Yeah, there you go.
Let us know if you knew what Amway was before this video.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody has to tell people the baby's ugly.
Let's get Kramer to do it.
Oh my goodness.
You gotta see the baby.
Yeah, with that, I guess we better go before I put my foot in the other foot in my mouth. So it's been fun recapping Brick Fair, looking at vintage sets that I don't know what people are thinking on eBay. They're trying to get us to spend our money, but we held back. I feel proud of Joey and myself for not spending our money on that set. But let us know in the comments below what things do you look for? What things have you been trying to buy and then wish you other people weren't bidding at the last minute? But anyway, we talk about old Lego, football, Amway, whatever else. Just you come to the right place if that's what you want to hear. So come back to BrickTrains channel. Be sure to subscribe to his channel. Subscribe to Mardigrasman. I'm BrickTsar. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
See y'all.
See ya.
In broadcast.
Yeah.